In this video, we will dive deep together into the spiritual ocean and collect the pearls of wisdom. So be with me till the end of the video. The Ashtavakra Gita or Song of Ashtavakra is a classical text in the Advaita Vedanta tradition in the form of a dialogue between the sage Ashtavakra and Janaka, king of Mithila, with both worldly responsibilities and deep spiritual questioning about the nature of reality. What is real? Janaka asks. The first shloka from the first chapter is Janaka's question to Ashtavakra. Janaka said, how people acquire knowledge, how liberation happens, how renunciation is attained. Please explain to me, O great Lord. Knowledge in this context is the knowledge of the self. Liberation means liberation from mortality and impermanence, or from the cycle of births and deaths. Renunciation means renunciation of desires. The great Lord is the spiritual master Ashtavakra. The person who addressed him was King Janaka in his role as a disciple. It requires a lot of humility by a king to address another one as a lord. The shloka introduces 5 important factors that are essential for spiritual life: a spiritual guru, an earnest disciple, knowledge of self, renunciation of desires and worldly pleasures, and interest in liberation from mortality. Knowledge begins with inquiry. You must have either the curiosity or the desperation to know. An enlightened teacher is like a treasure trove of knowledge. Meeting him and having an opportunity to speak to him personally to seek knowledge are blessings that can happen only if you earn good karma. When you come into his presence, you can take whatever you want from him, as if you are plucking ripe fruit from an ancient tree. He will give you knowledge according to your questions and your curiosity, within the set of rules and code of conduct that guide the relationship between a teacher and a student. Ancient gurukuls encouraged students to ask questions and seek answers. Unless a student expressed his desire to know, the teacher would not accept him as his student. It was the tradition. Even when knowledgeable people and renowned masters like Uddalaka Aruni or Shwet Ketu wanted to learn from others, they used to approach them with humility and requested them to teach. Although the conversation between Janaka and Ashtavakra was most likely an imaginary conversation, the scripture follows the same classical example and begins with questions. The questions asked by Janaka are very pertinent to liberation. It is important to know how spiritual knowledge arises. Does it arise on its own, or do you need to make an effort? We know that to acquire worldly knowledge, we have to make effort. We have to study books, consult people, make observations, and draw conclusions. Do we have to follow the same strategy for spiritual knowledge also? Knowledge is the key. Without it, the other two are not possible. To practice devotion, perform actions, or follow the path of renunciation, you need right knowledge. Without it, liberation is not possible. You need to make an effort to acquire knowledge and allow the knowledge to come to you by controlling your desires and expectations and keeping your mind open in a state of aspiration. Ashtavakra said, O child, if liberation is what you intend, give up the sense objects as if they are poison and take recourse to forgiveness, straightforwardness, kindness, contentment, and truth as if they are nectar. Ashtavakra addressed Janaka as a child. We do not know the age of Janaka nor of Ashtavakra. However, we presume that Ashtavakra was much older than Janaka and considered him a novice or an initiate in spiritual matters. Hence, he probably chose the title child to address him. Symbolically, it means anyone who has not entered spiritual life or does not possess spiritual knowledge is equal to a child. Visha means poison and Vishaya means sense objects. Any material object that you seek in the world is a Vishaya. All objects are considered poisonous in Hinduism because they bind humans to the cycle of births and deaths. Those who seek worldly objects cannot escape death. Hence, all material objects, Vishaya, are considered equal to poison. Thus, in the beginning statement itself, Ashtavakra introduced the importance of renunciation as the foremost requisite for liberation. He followed it up by referring to 5 important sattvic qualities that are important for its practice. Therefore, we pay here a little more attention to the words used by Ashtavakra to denote the 5 qualities: Shama, Arjava, Daya, Thosha, and Satyam. Shama is the quality of endurance, patience, silent suffering, letting go, and forgiveness. Arjavam means mellowness, straightforwardness, sincerity, honesty, simplicity, and humility. Daya means tenderness, pity, kindness, or compassion which arises from the virtue of non-violence and leads to the same. Tosha means contentment, satisfaction, or delight. It is a resultant expression of renunciation, detachment, and sameness. When you have these, you remain either contented or happy, irrespective of the situation in which you may find yourself. Satyam means truthfulness. Truthfulness not only means speaking truth, but also seeing truth, knowing truth, understanding truth, and discerning truth. It happens only when you have cultivated the quality of sattva. When your mind is filled with sattva, truths will accurately reflect in your consciousness, just as images are reflected in a clean and dust-free mirror. Hence, in the Bhagavad Gita, you will find a great emphasis upon refining and purifying the intellect to cultivate the quality of discernment and see things as they are without mental filters and cognitive bias. Ashtavakra asked Janaka to seek these 5 qualities. The words he used in this connection was bhaja. Bhaja does not mean mere seeking. It also means to uphold, appreciate, respect, honor, worship, acquire, possess, and remain devoted to. In other words, the advice was not meant for mere knowledge. Janaka was expected to internalize those qualities in him and reflect them in his thoughts and deeds. He also said that Janaka should accept them as if they are nectar. Piyusha is usually translated as nectar or ambrosia, but it also means fresh cow milk, especially from a cow that has just given birth to a calf. The implication is, however, clear. The comparison is made to denote their value to attain immortality, amritatvam, or overcome the poisonous death. That's all. I hope you learned something from this. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna.